Oh, yeah! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a podcast, it's the Slamcast. We are coming to you live from our studios. No, we're not coming from our studios. I don't know why I started doing that. Welcome to another edition of Slamcast. I am your host, as always, Mr. Brandon Liggan. I am joined by the Bristol Brawler himself, Dave Wade. What's going on?
I forgot that.
Yeah,
Is
I know,
it
man.
wrong? Every time I hit the intro, I actually nod my head when it goes, yeah.
It's a catchy tune. Like I didn't like it at first, but it's actually I never got props. We never actually found Burthead never told us who actually made this song and how he found it.
I may have heard a few podcasts that have the same song, so I'm assuming it's.
So it's just general free internet song.
But it works for us. It works for us.
It does. We found a way to work it, especially when I'm not.
Like I said, if it didn't work for us, why do I nod my head every time it goes? Yeah.
It's a catchy little tune. That's all I'm gonna say. I am joined by the man handling the executive producerial duties. Producerial?
Yeah.
Something like that. T-shirt in the world.
Yep.
That's a future free turn. Executive producer in training, Nick Horaceck. What's going on?
Not fucking much. Just a lot of WWE 2K16.
I'm
turned heel.
Did you? I'm so waiting forward to that. WWE 2K16 came into my GameFly account, but I just have yet to receive my mail.
You of all people?
I know. I have a GameFly account. Yes, I know.
Hey,
yeah.
Cheaper. It's cheaper than buying games.
It is cheaper than buying games. True. Yes, and they got me for $1. Re-signing back up.
All right, I retract that. That works.
A buck. Do it for $1.
Yeah, so it's coming. It's for $1, player.
Clear those lungs, son. Clear those lungs.
I had to clear those lungs. I normally catch the mutes. Like my mutes usually coincide with my coughs, but did not catch that. Anyway, if you're listening to this, you obviously know what we're talking about. We're talking about wrestling every week here, and a little bit of MMA because we got Ronda's fighting. We are, at least I'm an unabashed Ronda supporter. So we're going to talk about that later, but we're going to talk mostly about this brave new...
Talk about the greatest sport in the world, bitch.
Well, we're going to talk about the greatest entertainment spectacle in the world. The latest not real sport in the world. That is professional wrestling. We're going to give you our likes and opinions and all that other stuff. This is your first time listening to this. I welcome you. If it's not, thanks for listening to us while we,
I thought you were going to say, if it's not, fuck off.
Yeah, so. Right? So we kind of, like I said this before, we're kind of entering this brave new world now. This is the post-Seth Rollins surgery, the post-surgery era, I guess.
I think, can I correct you? Not brave new world, because of what's recently happened, changed new world.
It is a changed world. We definitely entered into a changed world, and Raw was certainly that. And we're not going to talk about everything that happened on Raw, but we did see the start of this world title tournament, which surprised a lot of us. It certainly surprised me because I thought they would save this for the Survivor Series pay-per-view and just make the entire Survivor Series about this. Again, I was, along with about probably 100,000 other people.
No, with you, it was an event that I thought was out of place. If that makes sense.
It was. I just wanted to see the rehash of the Deadly Game tournament. Someone having to wrestle 3 matches in one night to claim the most illustrious prize in the business just has a certain ring to it. I dig it. I thought that was a great way to go. Creative tries to go someplace else and give us an already pre-established match going into Survivor Series that they could promote and book, or book in advance and promote. We now know who at least 8 of the potential future WWE champions can be. We're going to talk about what think of their odds.
Well, I think it's interesting to say which is, it's given that they announced them, but which ones are going to take the fall and not be there in a year's time.
And we started to see that in Monday Night Raw. Like, it was very clearly, like, the way Raw started off with that great Triple H promo where he, basically put the belt on Roman Reigns and said, if it wants to be your time, it's your time. All you have to do is, all you have to join me. Together we could rule the galaxy as father and son kind of moment.
Right.
Do it. And obviously Roman, face doesn't take it.
Well, duh. And, the crowd actually booed him, but they had to pipe in, edit in the fucking...
Yeah. Before we get into the tournament itself, that's a bad move by WWE, a faux pas by WWE, I think. Because, look, I think having a crowd that rambunctious, and especially in England, where they literally probably do one TV taping annually in that country, to rob the fans their chance to really be heard on WWE TV was, a questionable decision. But I understand why. It was a bit of a dick move, man. It was a bit of a dick move because it's just like saying, yes, we value you coming to our shows, but we just don't like what you have to say when you're there, and we're going to edit you out.
Yeah.
Well, I find it really a dick move because, with the cross-channel, events and shit like this, clearly a market over here exists, and I felt this was a kind of middle finger.
Yeah, it is. It was a kind of big FU to the fans, and the rest, the UK and European fans are a big portion of the people that buy those travel packages to WrestleMania every year, that are sitting in those front rows. Yep. Those are, that's where the big portion of that money comes from. So,
but then even you take it at basic level and break it down, myself and all my friends who love wrestling, we pay for the network on the internet, so clearly we're important and marketable, environment. So
it strikes me as weird as that I don't think they would do that in any other city other than the UK, and that's very strange. But the UK is one of the Canada, because Canada's like bizarre. Canada does have the bizarro world tendencies too.
Oh yeah, I mean, my favorite example, you go back to Backlash 2004, the triple threat rematch for the world title, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit.
Or go back even further to the Canadian Stampede in your house pay-per-view. So
yeah, especially involving fucking Shawn Michaels, like I'm saying. I mean,
well, the Canadian Stampede, the in your house pay-per-view, the Stampede pay-per-view, Shawn Michaels wasn't even on that. It was just in Canada,
and that was that appeal, honestly, the Hart Foundation. They go down to somewhere in America, they get booed out of the building. They go to Canada, and they're fucking cheered.
They didn't have to change anything about their character whatsoever. They were just the same people.
Join me. Oh, Canada.
For my Canada fan, yeah, it's. But yeah, I mean, the fact that Shawn Michaels got booed out of the building at that pay-per-view in 2004, so. Cool.
Yeah.
That's my point. Canada's always been a bizarro world.
That's because look, Canada still hasn't forgiven Shawn for the Montreal incident, and we're literally going on almost 20 years later, and there's still
heat.
An entire generation of wrestling fans wasn't alive.
Why don't you give us a quick rundown of that?
Oh, the Montreal. I don't think I have to run you down on the Montreal Screwjob.
Oh, I know, but for people listening,
people know what happened
on November 9th, 1997, which we
actually just celebrated
past that anniversary too. Holy crap! Well, that worked out really good because I had completely forgotten about that.
Segue.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of the most famous moments in wrestling history because of it was like the curtain just blew open.
Well, it was the first time that what happened backstage, what was going on backstage, and what was going on in the business reflected what was going on, or exactly made its way onto TV. I mean, there were little hints of that before with I think Austin was kind of the first person to allude to McMahon, that McMahon was really the one in charge.
I remember that, there's the famous night on Raw months before when Brett fucking, shoved Vince on his ass.
Yeah, and even the Pillman call itself, like that kind of, you could even, Vince was still doing, commentary, and I actually went back and watched the Pillman episode of Raw on the network. That was when Raw still had the old theme song too, the saxophone theme
Right.
song. Oh wow, it's nostalgia trip like a month. And that was like the first time in a long time I've done that on the network too. Just gone on a nostalgia trip.
Hmm.
Um,
But
we got off
yeah,
on a
but
tangent.
you look at something like because backstage, everyone knew Brett was leaving. He was going to go to WCW. You know, Vince helped
Right.
facilitate that deal. And then for whatever reason, you know, Brett didn't want to drop the belt. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So Vince had to.
But let's say 19 years later or 18 years later, Shawn Michaels is still getting heat from that.
Yes.
Probably.
I don't know. It's
Probably
just
still.
one of those.
Shawn makes an appearance in Canada with the WWE. They're still booing him.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, the next time they're in Canada, probably Shawn might be there just to have that moment.
Yeah. I mean, and there was even what was that promo on Raw? Oh, or no, it wasn't on Raw. It was this is one of my favorite DX segments ever. It was backstage at was it Cyber or Taboo Tuesday or Cyber Sunday, one of the fucking voting pay-per-views, where the fans were voting on the referee for the DX tag match and ended up being Eric Bischoff. Sean's like, what? We don't know controversy? I'm the one that put Bret Hart in the sharpshooter, you know? Like, they've made fun of it, and then he went on to kick Stan. See? I just kicked Stan. I know, tangent, but, you know, they kind of put, like, I'm the one that put Bret Hart in the sharpshooter, you know? And
Those were like PG or quasi PG-13. Shawn was one of the better parts of DX
he was
because
funny.
while it was great to see them together, like it was more funnier to see Shawn trying to be the same person he was in
Yeah,
1997,
and
but
dancing
clearly
around, you know, his religion. And
Oh,
that's what Sean thought was funny,
oh
too.
look! Oh look, Mr. Fuji.
And then you get the two birds with fucking David, you British say. The
Yeah,
Flash and the bus driver, you know, they were just making fun of fucking Spirit Squad every week. They slimed them one week, they covered them in the McGanns. It just Sean was so entertaining.
Anyway, so going back to this tournament because we kind of got off on
we're on.
I don't know. I don't know. We just said we briefly mentioned it was the anniversary of the Montreal Screwjob, and then we
fuck.
It's on that.
What?
I may have to leave because the old bill has just turned up in my door.
Oh fuck.
All right. Well, do what you got to do. Jeez. So yeah, I was really surprised actually that they were going to go with this in one, not go with this whole 1 day thing, because I just think that's a better overall storyline for Survivor Series, to have a talent overcome the odds, wrestle 3 times in one night, and that's really the true endurance test of a champion, and especially when you have to crown a vacant champion. You want some sort of heroic feat of strength. I guess going through a tournament, slogging through that is a little similar. I don't know if it just works the same way, works differently with me, I guess.
Well, because you remember, I think we talked about last week, is the fucking Deadly Game tournament, how much of a cluster that was.
Yeah, I think I thought that's what made it legendary. Like that finish is legendary. That's what gave us the Rock. Like Rock, that is the night more than any night that made the Rock, and I think that's what had to come out of this, because Seth Rollins, they're losing their number one heel, so they have to basically create a new number one heel.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen in this. So we have to, we're breaking it down like that. That's what I think the overall end game is. Right now, they're losing Seth Rollins for 6 to 9 months. How do they find somebody to replace Seth Rollins for 6 to 9 months? And I really only think there's 2 people out of the 8 that we now know that are surviving the tournament that really makes sense.
So here's where we sit. And this is basically this is now after SmackDown.
Yes, if you are listening to this show, we are recording this on Veterans Day week. So SmackDown has
Nope,
not
but
aired yet
the spoiler
in the
results
United
are out.
States. But spoilers out. So if you do want to if you want to remain spoiler free when you listen to this podcast and you haven't watched SmackDown yet, stop listening. Fast forward about 20, 30 minutes or so, and you know, you won't be spoiled the SmackDown because things happen.
Yes. For once on SmackDown.
All right. From this point on is spoilers. So if you're listening and you're trying to don't complain about anything you say, because I
Yes.
fucking warned you, you
Wow.
dumb motherfucker.
Such a dick.
Ryback
Apparently,
lost
the
to
big guy
Kalisto.
didn't want Mexican.
What the fuck?
He didn't want to be fed Mexican.
Here's the thing. Ryback, I think, went out of his way to recently to say that he could be, or he wants his chance, I guess, at being the guy, the WWE champion, and went out and publicly said this
Yes.
on social media and in various interviews. And he now loses in the first round
Kalisto.
of the tournament. Now, I don't think if this is just maybe part of the plan to, make Ryback seem like he's going to be the guy eventually, or a long-term plan for Ryback, but that kind of seems like reactionary booking. Like, okay, you're going to come out and say this, that you think you could get your shot. We don't think you're ready for that shot, and you're going to lose to Kalisto.
Right.
That was also the head scratcher matchup too. When I looked at the tournament bracket,
Yeah, you think it's gonna be the
there were some
obvious.
things
Oh,
that made sense.
Kalisto's gonna do the job. He's gonna put Ryback over.
Right, yeah. So they set up Ryback would be facing.
I gotta pull it up again here. Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio. So we got a little Mexican, a Mexican only, an all Mexican semifinal, if you will, quarterfinal.
Quarter.
Right, a quarterfinal, semifinal, quarterfinal. Yeah, so an all Mexican quarterfinal with Alberto Del Rio and Kalisto. A very intriguing matchup of Cesaro.
And
Roman
the
Reigns.
internet's just like, oh god, Roman's got to look strong.
Yeah, I mean, or look, we'll see. We will see what happens. We also have
Neville,
Kevin Owens against,
which will be a hell of a match.
Neville.
You give them the time; those guys will be able to put on a kick-ass match.
And Dean Ambrose takes
Dolph Ziggler
on Dolph Ziggler. Who now where I said there's really only two people, maybe could extend that maybe to three people that I could say that could fill that role of being the number one heel. It has to be a turn. Someone has to turn from heel to from face to heel, because that's just the only way you replace the heat that Seth Rollins was getting. Put that onto somebody else. So someone has to take that, and as it gets closer to it, I could really only see two people taking that, and that's Kevin Owens or Dean Ambrose. Now, that's not saying that they don't have Roman Reigns win this and then just have Sheamus cash in the Money in the Bank afterwards and have Sheamus be taking it over.
I'd rather see Irish Foghorn Leghorn cash in and lose.
I would too, but that is also a good way to continue the storyline of Roman Reigns' quest for the title, and then also establish Sheamus as being the number one guy. Like have Triple H have basically a repeat
2013
of
when Bryan won the title and Triple H dropped him in Orton.
Or the Alberto Del Rio thing with
CM Punk. Yes.
CM Punk. Yeah. Come on, bring up, dude! Bring up out here.
Yeah, now you owe him like 3, Vince, and you'll never pay up on it, bastard.
Well, we'll see. Hey, look, man. When Seth hurt his knee, there was I don't know if I mentioned this, but there was that one slight glimmer of hope that Punk was checking his messages. Gets a phone call. How you doing there, champ?
I doubt that.
Let's see how you doing. So, I was having a conversation with Dana, and how would you like to come back to work for us?
Oh, this is. Oh.
Oh, could you imagine? No,
Yeah.
I can't imagine that happening. But there was that brief glimmer
Yeah.
of hope.
But here's where we sit now. They did the smart thing. They didn't put Bryan in the tournament, which would have sunk it immediately. For one.
Yeah, and Leslie was on the show with us before, on the call with us before, but we
Trying to get
bullshit
the
too much,
tangents
and
out, and she wanted to go to bed.
we
I don't blame her.
yeah, we wore her down. Dave wore her down. So she had to go put herself in a rest hold.
Randy Orton-esque
You know
rest
what I'm
hold.
saying?
Rest hold.
No, man, just got to put the rest hold, take the heat. She's gassed out. But she put forth this great theory, and I'm taking credit entirely for her words at this point. I'm going to try and do my best to elocute this this theory that she put forth, that Daniel Bryan was going for a second opinion after the WWE doctors told him, or actually rather would be a
his
third
doctor
opinion,
I think
rather,
cleared him. WWE
which
doctors didn't. Well, then again, Chris.
And then they were going to go for a third doctor to clear him, and then that would be the final decision. Maybe that third doctor did not give Daniel Bryan the news that he wanted, and now he's in a period of transition, because we did also see him reprise his off-screen role for the company. He had appeared in a few of those, like off-screen segments, like just showing up and being a guy. Here, I'm here. Interview things. That's what I was looking for. The words in my head. That's why Daniel Bryan wasn't included in it, because his career is now effectively over, and he's just really coming to terms with that, and then a formal announcement will be made. So this is just Leslie's theory, and she did back it up with evidence, and not really evidence, but sound facts and reasoning behind. So I
not the case,
severely hope that is.
You would hope that it's one last match and he gets to come out the final countdown.
Yeah. I mean, believe me, I've been on the final countdown thing ever since he got in WWE. ever since he started, ever since Flight of the Valkyries was his theme song, I'm like, really? Flight of the Valkyries? Okay. I mean, he already has this iconic theme song already, and all right, it's not that, like, is Europe really that causing to charge that much money? Like, Europe wouldn't charge any more than Living Color.
And I know I know Vince was gun shy after Metallica, but Metallica are dicks.
Yeah. Metallica are dicks, and Limp Bizkit are not cool anymore.
It's true.
But the Limp Bizkit were never cool. Sorry, 2004 Brandon, or 2003 Brandon, or 2002 Brandon.
Anyway. Wow, we've just completely gone off a tangent, just ripping Limp Bizkit. Oh well.
Yeah, well, that's good. We're trying to fill time. But like I said, there's only two feasible options, I feel, at this point, and that's Dean Ambrose turning heel, or putting the belt on Kevin, which would absolutely be great, or putting the belt on Kevin Owens, which would be, first of all, a complete mindfuck, because you would literally put Kevin Owens as having the best year in wrestling history, or the best single year in WWE history that anybody ever has,
Mm-hmm.
ever in
Well,
the
yeah.
history of ever.
Again, 5 years ago, if you had said that fucking Kevin fucking Steen was gonna be in the WWE, he was gonna win the
Was going
NXT
to
title,
be
he's gonna win blah blah blah, he's gonna be one of the top guys in the company. What the fuck are you smoking? And give me some.
uh, two matches away from potentially being in a match for the
And
WWE
again,
title.
this is gonna be hashtag Kevin Dunn hate, but imagine I would love to see the look on that guy's face when Triple H's NXT guy, he hasn't been in the company a year. He made his debut last December. It hasn't been a year. Imagine if all of a sudden here we are, not even a year later, Kevin Owens is holding the Intercontinental title and the WWE World Heavyweight title. Dunn's head would fucking explode.
Well, not only Kevin Dunn's head, but so would a sizable portion of the independent wrestling
But in a
fan
good
base.
way for them, in a bad way for you.
They would go particularly. Well, there would be people that would be happy, and then there would be people that would be not happy. As opposed to any argument. I just think that those are the only two candidates. I don't see Del Rio, just getting back into the company and already getting granted another shot at the WWE title when he really didn't do that great of a job with it the first time around.
It was definitely a boring champion.
Roman, a lot of people say that this could be Roman Reigns' time. But I'm not saying he's not ready. I'm just saying the payoff for having him win.
Right. Here's the thing. I think the money with Roman is as a face, and that's what the company is invested in, and it can fucking work. But
at least that's what the temporary future is in. I mean, I know, there are other people probably coming up, but there's going to need a guy who's going to have to step in and be the face of the company after Cena leaves, which is, it's going to be very, very soon. I think I have a feeling we're seeing the last few years of just John Cena's going to want to do something else, and then maybe come back to wrestling and be involved in other ways. But the era of John Cena being on TV every week,
Cena wins well, and the Superman era is dead. Yes, exactly. All the
we covered that last.
I mean, all the things.
Did we cover that? Was that on the episode that we had the salvage where I went on my rant where the era of Super
Actually, I'll have to go back
dead?
And look. Shit, I'm trying to remember because we had to record twice last week because unfortunately Seth got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Seth Rollins, ACL.
I mean, Big Show getting hurt, speedy recovery, but no big deal. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a terrible thing that an athlete gets hurt, and especially a guy in this phase of his career.
And the guy can genuinely be entertaining. He's.
Look, I like him off camera. I can't help but notice, being a lifelong wrestling fan, there's an audible groan, or just I can feel the discontent in a building, and I've been in the building when he's come out, and especially now, more so now,
right.
Like an ugly feeling every time the Big Show walks out.
I'll just throw this out there because apparently on Main Event this week, for those that like me, I don't give a shit about Main Event or Superstars, they're gonna have Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks.
What? Yeah, I mean they're giving you matches you want. They're just not giving it in a show everybody wants to watch. I mean, I guess that's like a way to bring eyeballs in.
Yeah.
To get people to watch Main Event, but it'll obviously be probably the best match on Main Event.
Still pissed I couldn't go to that Billings House show. I mean, when it looked. Anyway, I think I said my. Now was that on the show? I don't know. I'll have to go back and look because I don't even remember.
It was. Well, no, because we literally lost a week because of Seth Rollins' knee, man. Like this, it was a big deal. I again, we want to talk inside baseball, executive producer real talk, man. I thought that was the best decision we made for the show to abort everything we did in that episode and
Yes,
talk about that
we're
because
in
again, it's a
look what we're
new
doing.
world now.
We're in the middle of a tournament and to bring it back for the vacant WWE World Heavyweight title.
We're about to crown
we're
the
getting a new
57th
champion,
WWE champion.
fucking teed, and at
not somebody else who is else who has held the belt before, unless Sheamus catches in.
Well, Ziggler's been world
Alberto
champion
Del Rio
before. So they're out of the 8 people that are left. Right.
Never been WWE champion before. Like I always hold that connotation because the World Championship has been a title that the WWE transitioned from WCW, was a defunct company.
Yeah, the world title's never seen as the guy. Del Rio, only guy that has actually held the WWE Championship, and
exactly.
albeit it was that fucking spinner belt, which completely outlived its usefulness after 3 years, maybe 2, 3, around there.
It was. That's why. I mean, yeah, the whole spinning jewelry thing stopped becoming a fad. Like, probably about a year after they debuted the belt, but then, by then it was just iconic, and that was, Cena
it worked for his, his gimmick.
Like, it was seen like Cena was
I mean, I loved when
it.
Edge put like the rated R plate on it. I thought that was funny.
Exactly.
Another case of Canada being Bizarro World.
Yeah.
Cena, the perennial face, getting booed in Toronto at Unforgiven. Edge, the dirty, despicable heel, getting the hero's welcome. Yeah.
Because he's in Toronto.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was The Rock, they would boo him, and then The Rock would make fun of him. He said Toronto. That's where we're from. Great moments in Rock history. Speaking of The Rock, I don't know if you heard. What?
Yes.
You know what? You even know what joke I'm going to use too, but shut up. I'm still going to make it. Finally, The Rock has come back to a woman's uterus.
Oh man, he must have got a nice big helping of that poontang pie that night because girlfriend, I believe. Girlfriend,
The Rock and his, I don't even know his
girlfriend. Yeah.
Girlfriend. They're getting married. The Rock is going to make an honest woman. Look, if she's having the Rock's baby, if she's having the Pebble,
fuck it.
Look, if she's going to have the Rock's baby, the Rock is going to make an honest woman out of her. So we wish nothing but the best and a safe and healthy child for the Rock. I certainly don't. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Edit point. Happy, congratulations, Rock. That's gonna be an interesting kid to watch grow up, especially in this day and age.
Yes.
Where your dad is the Rock, basically that way.
We might have another future, 20 years down the road in this Samoan dynasty. Yes.
Of a 4th generation WWE superstar, guaranteed.
Yep.
If the Rock is a son.
Oh hell no!
You don't think that kid's gonna want to try and do the same thing that his dad did? That kid's not gonna. That kid's not gonna be a fucking dentist.
God, congrats.
Fuck no. But if the Rock has a son,
I don't think so.
I don't know if they did announce the sex of the child.
I might have seen something said it's a baby girl, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Fuck.
Yeah, I think I might have said the same thing too. But yeah.
Oh no.
There's no way that kid's having a normal life growing up.
Yes.
Going to be a pediatrician or something like that. No. Work in accounting somewhere. I mean, no. Your kid's gonna have something or an entertainment lifestyle.
Yeah.
Or
4th
something
generation.
Family business. For the 4th generation. That just has a nice
that Samoan dynasty is already just fucking insane.
The
Wild Samoans, Yokozuna, Rikishi, fucking Rock, Rocky Johnson, fucking High Chief Peter Maivia, Nia Jax, the Usos. Snuka, yes. Oh
Okay,
my
Snuka's a
god.
part of that dynasty too.
You talk about it's like the Hearts. They're the Samoan Hearts. Only I don't think as insane. Crazy. And with all due respect, but
No, I think they might be. I think they might be crazier. I just think the stories stay within themselves, and they're like, "Oh
yeah.
man, they don't want to say that because they're gonna fucking kill you." All the Samoan stories that I heard are just them being just generally rowdy, and then them bringing the rest of the Pacific Islander community to the shows, and then those people starting fights because they're fucking with the other Pacific Islanders, and they don't like that. Those
Yep.
people
Anyway,
stick
big
together.
news. The Pebble is gonna
Yeah.
debut.
I went whatever it was worth it
You
just to
got the
make the
joke.
finally
You
the
got the
Rockets
one
come
you
back
need
to
to
a
get
women's
in. So
uterus. It was totally worth it.
yes.
Whatever, I don't care. That joke was totally worth it. I don't care how fucking hackneyed that
Anyway,
bit was.
have we
That
pretty
joke was
much hit?
fucking gold.
It's the tournament points we wanted to hit.
I mean, it's going to be certainly interesting going forward because as the way it shakes out,
Right.
it's definitely sets up for a Dean
The way this
Ambrose Roman
bracket is
Reigns
played
final.
out, they could throw the curve. They could. I would love to see. This is driving me nuts the way this bracket's laid out because I would love to see an Owens Ambrose final. I would love to see. We probably can get Roman and Ambrose, and then we're more likely going to see the fucking heel turn. I think. Mhm.
I think it's gonna happen too, man. Just you got to look at the way it shapes out. Like Alberto Del Rio, unless they throw us a curveball
Yeah.
and like Cesaro
They could pull
find some
something like
way
that, and
to
just to kind of,
Reigns beat
Triple H
Cesaro.
could be so mad that Roman didn't take the offer, that he's gonna do something and he's gonna screw Roman, so he doesn't even make it to the pay-per-view, and then that leaves Roman to do something
Screw.
else. And
Yeah, it's gonna get interesting, but it's good to know that we actually finally have that these are the 8 people. Well, 6 people.
you're a hell of a
Because no
talent,
offense,
but
Kalisto,
you're a tag guy.
you're not winning. Oh, same thing with Titus. Same thing with Titus O'Neil. Like Titus O'Neil, I think Titus O'Neil came a long way just to be even in
Well, they need to
the
throw a couple
16
guys in there
people
that had no
considered for the
shot, but
WWE tournament.
you need it.
They,
I mean, look, we had The Miz in the
there's some
opening
people
round.
exactly. They had to fill time.
Yes.
The Miz is a former WWE champion. What are you talking about?
He
That he
married
came to play.
Maurice, so
Anyway, lucky again. I still consider Miz is the luckiest man in professional wrestling because the guy's got to live his dream.
yeah,
The luckiest man in professional, luckiest man in the
I can't
goddamn
hate the guy.
world.
Like, you win life. It's like Rusev is
No, you
marrying
can't.
Lana.
You can't.
Hello.
The Miz is one. No, that's you.
Yeah. Why do you think? Yeah,
realize that
exactly. Why do you think he
he's
stayed
not a
on
fucking
He
idiot.
stayed on the road.
No, man. Oh, staying on the road. I mean, like,
Yep.
I congratulate that man for being smart.
Ronda Rousey.
Anyway, we can do some Iron Shiek tweets of the week, and then
Yeah,
Ronda
we're
Rousey's
missing
fighting this
something here.
weekend. Oh my god! Thanks, Nick, for reminding me. I wanted to talk about that. So yeah, this is a big deal. This is a big deal because this is the UFC's annual stadium show. It's going to take place down at the Etihad Stadium, which is a cricket ground in Sydney, Australia. Big fight. This is I guess Ronda's I could call it coronation or coming out party because this is the first show where a big stadium show where she's the headliner. Like all the things where she's been a feature part, but this is a big stadium venue and she's the headliner. Holly Holm is also we shouldn't be like discounting Holly Holm. Holly Holm has had a tremendous run to get to where she is.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going through the card right now, looking at matches I want.
Oh, by the way, speaking of matches, you remember what I had predicted last week? Yeah, that went right out the window. My streak of not being able to predict a fucking UFC main event to save my life, unless it was fucking Brock Lesnar or Ronda Rousey. I can't pick a fucking UFC main event to save my life.
Yeah, well, it must have been something in Vitor's training that, I also think just Henderson might need to, call it a career. There's only it's the old gunslinger thing, and you don't want to see a guy becoming punch drunk too later on in life. And then the fact that Dan Henderson has been able to be this competitive
knockouts of all time is when Henderson knocked out Michael Bisping.
He's 47. He's one. Okay, I'll give you that, but he's not only just he's just an absolute legend in the sport, and definitely goes down as one of the greatest of all time, and will ever be forever remembered as that, because it's just from where he has gone, where he is, his career has paralleled the success of the sport, because he was a standout in the Pride competition when MMA was just kind of in its infancy, but there's this huge thing in Japan, and then he rode it all the way out to the explosion in America, high point with the UFC, then was released, and then fought his way back.
Pack it in, man.
So I think it might be a time for Dan to.
Hell, Chuck Liddell retired on a damn
and there's no shame in that. He went out on his shield.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Go out on your shield, dude. Like that's how a warrior goes, and Dan Henderson is certainly a fucking warrior. But before we get into the do you want to talk about? I mean, there's the really only fight. There's the Mark Hunt fight, Silva fight. I mean, Mark Hunt fighting in Australia. You'd think Mark Hunt comes out with comes out with a win in that one, right? Uriah Hall is fighting. Yeah. See, for a big. It's a lot of. It's for an Australian show. It is basically the Australian pay-per-view I'm looking at. It's Kyle Noak is also fighting. Stefan Struve
really
is fighting, but really
dropping their money
the
to
only
see
fight
is
that's
Ronda.
really, I think, dropping their money on. Seeing all these guys are great fighters, but no one's really.
No one's gonna give a shit.
You take Ronda off this show. This is This is not a marquee, late November pay-per-view. This is a late December or mid-December
with the big exception
Fox Sports
of
1 card,
Rousey.
Basically,
that's the thing.
There's no.
Yes.
You add Ronda to this show, and this is a stadium show in Australia. This is a massive global outreaching thing for the UFC. This becomes the spectacle of what it is. You don't get the epic promo videos that they're cutting for this, where they're showing some girl who's supposed to be young Ronda and then growing up and all this other shit. They're really finally catching up with WWE as far as their promotional video production is coming. But Holly Holm is no slouch, man. She's 8-0 She's ran through pretty much everybody she's gotten. She possesses a lot of threats to Ronda.
So one way or the other, the streak is going to end.
Yeah, this is what it says. Someone's O has got to go.
I can't either.
I think Ronda wins. I can't go against my girl. I can't.
Well, yeah.
I mean, until it happens, until someone does. But you have to have the feeling that this has all the hallmarks of that. Ronda's career has reached this fever pitch level. She's transcends the sport, and the company and everything else, it's got to come crumbling down eventually. And Holly Holm certainly has more potential to do so than him. There's probably realistically only two people that can honestly do that. Misha Tate.
Hello.
E3, you're back. Everything's okay.
Fucking.
Yes, we gotta.
Fucking
Yeah,
salty
who you're saying?
balls
Misha
and
Tate
fuck
was the
off.
only other one
We'll
that
talk
could.
about it after the call. Misha Tate, Cyborg, and maybe Holly Holm. Those are the only three women realistically on the planet that have a chance at beating Ronda. And we'll see one of them fight.
I mean, and I remember
this.
I was at a local sports bar the last time Ronda fought, and I remember I was standing, I was watching because it's the only fight I actually gave a shit. No, okay.
Sorry. Holly Holm is 9-0.
Hang on. They screen wrestling in your bar?
We're talking about Ronda Rousey.
Well, they.
Oh, it's just gonna say like fucking.
You poor
Sorry,
bastard.
my bar screens fucking reality TV.
At the sports bar, it fucking took 20 minutes for me to get one goddamn PBR, which is how packed it was. I was standing, so I'm watching, and the fight's about to come on. Someone said, like, behind me, he's like, what happens if Ronda loses? I said, you will hear all of the breath sucked right out of the damn room. That's pretty much what...
No, if she loses, you'll hear my boy Hatch. Hatch is a Ronda hater because Hatch hates to see anybody being successful, let alone a woman. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I went there. So you'll see people chirping in for that, but I just think I don't know how Ronda's gonna win it because I think Holly Holm presents the greatest challenge, like technically wise, other than Misha Tate and Cyborg that she ever really has faced, or could face. I'm believing that she's gonna win this, but there's just something in this that has just like a real Buster Douglas kind of upset to it. Like Ronda's been she just came off a fight too in September.
Yep.
I don't know, man. Sorry, it was late August or something like that.
I had gotten off of work that night and walked right
or
over
July. July is when she fought, right?
Plug Sting Sports Bar and Grill, Great Falls, Montana. Not sponsored.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
So it's just seen that. Not sponsoring Sting. We're not after
the wrestler or the singer.
That's what should get that.
Yeah. Sports bar. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. The wrestler or the singer or the bar.
Again, Ronda's fights are always, must see TV.
It's gonna be appointment viewing. I guarantee you, social media is gonna go shit fucking crazy no matter what happens, win or lose. This is gonna be the thing that everybody's gonna be talking about Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Yes.
Even more so if Ronda happens to lose, because then we have this major moment, and I'm not saying if she loses she's done in UFC, but if she loses, she has nothing to prove in that sport, and I can absolutely see her walking away. I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
So I'm playing catch up.
It's okay. You really didn't miss much. We kind of really talked about, just to give everybody a recap and brief Dave up, because Dave was with us and then he had to go deal with a personal problem. We recapped.
Fuck the filth. Hashtag. Fuck the filth.
We discussed who we thought was going to be potentially the WWE champion in the WWE tournament. We talked a little bit about
Ronda.
What did we talk about other than that? I don't remember, but that's what we talked. We talked about Ronda. We talked about, where the company is going. We talked about maybe Daniel Bryan might be finished.
And there is one more thing to give you a little more time
as well. But other than that,
we
that's pretty much
I will go over this real quick because we are around the time
I did
of
actually.
the
It was
10th
Factory Real
anniversary of the
Jesus.
death of Eddie Guerrero.
No,
Yeah,
We'll
God,
go into
yeah,
Iron Sheik
shit.
week, but yeah.
Forgot
I didn't
about
want to
that.
talk about. I didn't want to talk about sad shit on this podcast though, but it's gonna be. That's gonna be a tough one, and I could definitely see myself going on an Eddie Guerrero nostalgia trip and watching the
Yeah.
Dean Malenko match because that's my favorite Eddie match, hands down. The Havoc match.
I know I'm late to the party of wrestling, but I built my backstory up and shit like that. But
Well,
wow,
on
really, that long since he
on the 10th anniversary of Eddie Guerrero's death, if you want to watch it, I will suggest that you go watch that match between him and Dean Malenko, or any of the matches that they had on Nitro, but they're not available on the WWE Network.
No
Sorry,
804, that
I'm still
that
a little
match with
mad.
Lesnar when Eddie won that
Episodes
title.
of Nitro
Man,
are
that's
not on the WWE Network.
yeah. There's so many moments.
These
You can
were
talk,
again.
when in the bathroom moment
You're
with
talking
Big
about somebody
Show,
who's an
you've got
all-time great.
the sewer
and
truck, the celebration when he won the title. There are so many moments with this guy.
It was. Here's the thing: is the fact that he was
I hate
not
this
the.
phrase. I hate this phrase, but I think it's safe to say it. He's a golden oldie, if you know what I mean. He throws back to the old school days.
I mean, he was the school. Well, Eddie Guerrero was, revolutionary because he inspired an entire, literally every other cruiserweight that came after him. Pretty much tried to wrestle, like, and even guys that are larger than him
The
tried to work
influence
like
that
that.
this guy had.
So you see constantly little on everybody, and everybody that touched him or just saw his matches.
Can you show us on the doll where he touched him? Sorry, bad joke.
Well, way to break
Alright.
up
I got the thing all queued up.
a serious moment with some humor. But let's go to the Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Fuck him! I talked to him! I wanna know, are you the man or are you a fucking piece of shit? No good motherfucker! Fucking bullshit!
No. All right. Well, we like to close out every edition of the Slamcast with sharing the wise words of social media wisdom from the greatest living Iranian, the Iron Sheik, Hall of Famer and legend. He was all over the place as he always is. Commenting on the baby Hitler controversy, which is
Jeb Bush.
the internet.
Oh,
Dumber than his
Jeb
brother.
Bush. Oh,
Yeah.
Dumber than his brother.
But there is one particular bit of tweet, and someone who's a classic target for Shaky Baby, and like can't go wrong with when this is an Iron Sheik tweet elite selection when this person is involved. Which movie going to be better? Iron Sheik says, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, or Justin Bieber raisin balls smaller than quinoa 4. Like, let me repeat that again because I think that's something that bears repeating. Which movie is going to be better? My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 or Justin Bieber's Raisin Balls smaller than quinoa 4? I think it's the 4 at the end of it. Really just fucking... Oh, I can't because I'm gonna start cracking up. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Fucking bullshit!
There we go. Alrighty then. Let's bring it home with some pluggity plugs. Bristol Brawler. Still calling you that.
Sticking with it.
We're doing it, man. It's working. It's totally working.
You can find me at Long Post 1975 on YouTube, and I'd just like to say very personally, with Venom, fuck the police. You're welcome.
The police come. All right, we don't want to get it started like NWA, man. I don't want to get arrested going to Detroit.
Yes. Or get some police chief captain because you're Quentin Tarantino and you
Yeah.
call him out.
Let me rephrase that then. You can find me at Long Post 1975 if you like your video games and stuff like that, debates, discussions, and stuff like that. And then come check me out. But remember, every time you see a copper, make sure you hold up your middle finger.
Don't do anything that Dave tells you.
Yes, you gotta be careful.
We here have the official policy of Slamcast of usually doing the exact opposite of anything that Dave.
All right. Final one. You can find me at Long Post 1975 if you like your retro video games and stuff like that, and debates, discussion. The next time you see someone from the old Bill, give them a hug, shake their hand, and say, "Good job, sir."
There you go. That's
and
positive.
we can wholly support that.
We can wholly support that and not live in fear of our lives of potentially getting shot the next time we're involved with police.
They are wankers, though. So.
Because they are totally listening to this podcast. We don't have any cop. We might have cop fan wrestling friends, man.
They might be. After all, I told them, but we'll get to that after the show.
We'll talk about that. All right, Nichols.
All right, you can find me over.
Whoa. Nichols? I didn't realize he was your pet puppy.
They used to call, I've heard the story where they used to call him because Mick Foley was so cheap. They called them Mickles.
Yep.
Like Nichols.
Okay, I'll let you off. Sorry.
Okay, anyway. I'm over on YouTube at the Gaming Pegasus 187 where I posted the rest of my wonderful Mega Man 2 stream, and I've got a bunch of... Actually, I might end up just doing a fucking review on Battletoads because I've got so much fucking... I'm going to end up with so much footage if I can actually finish the goddamn game because it's so brutally fucking hard. But I'm on Twitter at Gaming Pegasus 187. I'm usually retweeting Iron Shiek stuff because his words of wisdom need to be spread.
Don't forget that we're starting a new series.
Yeah. Me and Dave talk bollocks about shit and pissing people off because, well, I'm an asshole. That's what I do,
baby.
Oh, man. I'm on fucking Facebook. I'm in the Wrestling/MMA Revolution Facebook group, posting news and kayfabe news articles and all kinds of shit because why not? I'm fucking on Xbox Live, Instagram, Wii U, Pegasus187, playing a lot of WWE 2K16. Turned heel because I'm a fucking asshole. That's what I do.
No, you went dark side.
Yes. Join the fucking dark side. Anyway, I'm all over the place. I'm on Slamcast. I'm not going to be on I Got Gameplay this week because I am going to be in Missoula, Montana getting hammered off my ass. Yes. Brandon, take us home.
All right, I will take us home. Imagine if I did the entire podcast.
Why do you sound like a 4-year-old child who just ate too many lead chips off the radiator?
I don't know, but that's what I was gonna do. So if you like this podcast, you obviously like professional wrestling, yeah. So you should go out, and no matter where you live, I guarantee you, if you live where there's civilization and where people live and do things, or within driving distance of where you live and people do things, there are people just like you and just like me that have hopes and dreams of making it in this crazy world of professional wrestling that we all love. I think it's your duty as the humble podcast listener to go out and support them in their endeavors of achieving their dreams and goals. Because you are, even in your just small contribution, helping someone realize their dream. I realize none of my friends are probably going to make it to the WWE except for one, maybe two of the hundreds of people.
Yeah, but that's not the point, is it, Brandon? It's about,
It's about supporting your local independent wrestling promotion because I guarantee you, no matter where you live, there's people trying to put on a show and trying to entertain people and just trying to do what they've wanted to do their entire lives, but they can't do it the way they want to do. They can only do this, and that's what they have, and that's all that they care about. Mm-hmm. If you're listening to this show, I implore you to go do that because you will not be disappointed.
Yep.
You will entertain your family, and you might be even hooking your young son or daughter onto a lifetime of disappointment and addiction. No, fun and good times and just
Yeah,
I'll go with addiction because you
entertain.
both you twats and Burn got me addicted to this, and it costs a lot of money.
Well, technically, it was Mick Foley getting thrown off a cage that got you addicted to it. We just
directed you to that.
It's not. Let's not forget the thumbtacks.
Yes,
fucking
the
Mick Foley, man.
thumbtacks.
But yeah, you'll again independent shows. You'll find the stars of tomorrow, and even find some people that were signed once. Like,
And they're
Yes,
cheap.
like-
They're good to watch. If you go to Bristol Hippodrome, one day, once a month, you can. Where else can you spend a tenner and get 3.5 hours of pure entertainment for that amount of money?
So, yeah. Again, if you like me, find me on Twitter, Brandon Allhope. Apparently nothing on the Instagram.
I like you, but
Brando-
don't touch me in my special place.
Brando Calrissian 420 on the Twitch. I might do some Twitch streams, maybe. For Nick Horaceck, for the Bristol Brawler Dave Wade, for Leslie, who was not on the podcast, for our absent leader, or absent executive producer, Michael Burhan. I am Brendan Liggan, saying go forth and spread beauty and light. Peace, love, and humptiness to all. Ooh.
Spread your seat, bitches.
Ooh. No, see, I was doing a Bill Carr reference.
Yeah, that's really creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a Bill Carr joke. You wouldn't understand it unless you knew Bill Carr. Ooh.
Can I be a little bit scared? Am I
Could be.
allowed that?
You should be. Ooh. Ooh. You mentioned the I was signed once. Go buy Bill's shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. ProWrestlingTees.com/Dan Barry and Bill. I don't know what their store is actually called. ProWrestlingTees.com. Go find them.
Oh, and by the way, Lawn Boy shirts and Connery shirts are coming soon. True story.
Awesome.